This is Optimal Health Daily, episode 449. Purified versus distilled versus regular water. What's the difference? Part 2, by Jillian Kubala with Healthline.com. And I'm Dr. Neil, your very own personal narrator. Welcome back to Optimal Health Daily. Happy Thursday to you. This is one of 5 podcasts where we read to you from blogs for free so that you don't have to read them yourself. Fridays are the exceptions, though. That's where I usually answer your questions. So if you haven't done so already, definitely send me a question. Oh, and if I haven't answered your question yet, have patience with me. I promise I'll get to it. Now, today's post is a continuation from yesterday. So if you're new here or skipping around, definitely check out yesterday's episode first. That's episode number 448. But if you're all caught up, let's jump right in. Let's hear part 2 as we optimize your life. Purified versus distilled versus regular water. What's the difference? Part 2 by Jillian Kubala with Healthline.com. Distilled water is a type of purified water. Distilled water has gone through the process of distillation to remove impurities. Distillation involves boiling water and collecting the steam, which returns to water upon cooling. This process is very effective at removing contaminants like bacteria, viruses, protozoa like Giardia, and chemicals like lead and sulfate. Due to the fact that distilled water is exceptionally pure, it is commonly used in medical facilities and laboratories. Though drinking distilled water is not as common as drinking other types of purified water, some people choose to drink it because it is free of contaminants. Benefits of distilled water. Again, water distillation is an effective way to remove contaminants from drinking water. Levels of pesticides and other chemicals in public water sources like tap water will depend on your geographic location and the agencies that regulate drinking water safety in your country. Distilled water is essentially free of contaminants like pesticides and bacteria, which could be especially helpful to those with weakened immune systems. For example, those with HIV or AIDS and certain cancers are at an increased risk of becoming sick from impurities in food and water, and may benefit from drinking distilled water. What's more, like some other purification methods, distilled water effectively removes chlorine from drinking water, which can improve the taste of water while decreasing your exposure to chlorine. Potential risks of distilled water. While distilled water is the purest type of water, it's not necessarily the healthiest. The distillation process is very effective at removing potentially harmful contaminants, but it also removes the natural minerals and electrolytes found in water. Along with unwanted impurities, beneficial minerals like calcium and magnesium are also left behind as the steam rises during the distillation process. In fact, distillation typically removes around 99.9% of all minerals found in tap water. Though water is not typically thought of as a source of minerals, any factor that leads to a decreased intake of essential micronutrients could negatively impact your health. For example, drinking water that's low in calcium and magnesium has been associated with an increased risk of fracture, preterm birth, and heart disease. However, it's important to note that tap water is not a major source of mineral intake for most people, and drinking distilled water should be relatively safe as long as a well-balanced diet is followed. Like other methods of purification, distillation removes fluoride from drinking water, which may put those who choose to drink distilled water at an increased risk of developing cavities. This makes it important for those who drink distilled water to maintain proper dental hygiene. Summary. Distilled water is a type of purified water that is essentially free from contaminants. The distillation process removes fluoride and natural minerals found in drinking water. So, should you choose purified water over regular water? In most cases, public drinking water sources like tap water are safe due to the strict contaminant limits set by regulatory agencies. However, drinking water can become contaminated from natural sources or human activity, which can affect water quality. For this reason, it may be a good idea to invest in an in-home water purification system, especially those who are immunocompromised and more susceptible to becoming ill from contaminated water. In countries where water contamination is an issue, especially in developing countries with lack of proper sanitation, choosing bottled or purified water is always the safest option. Many types of purification systems are available, including charcoal and UV filters, which remove impurities that may survive the initial large-scale purification process that most tap water goes through. That being said, in countries where public drinking water is regulated for quality and safety, drinking tap water is relatively safe. If you question the quality of your tap water, you can test the water by purchasing a home test kit or contacting a water testing agency in your area. Summary. Though consuming tap water is safe in countries where drinking water is regulated, water purification may be necessary in areas where water contamination is an issue. How to purify your drinking water. Most public sources of drinking water are regulated for safety, but some people choose to use home water purifiers to further improve water quality. Household water treatment units can improve the taste or odor of tap water and remove specific contaminants. Point-of-use or POU treatment systems purify only the water that is used for consumption, like drinking and cooking. Point-of-entry or PUE treatment systems typically treat all of the water entering a home. Point-of-use systems are less expensive and therefore more commonly used in households. These filtration systems attach to the faucet or sit under the sink and also come in freestanding water pitchers with built-in filters like the popular Brita water filter. Some refrigerators also come with built-in water purification systems. Most in-home water filtration systems use the following purification techniques. 1. Filtration. Filtration systems trap unwanted impurities in the surface or pores of an absorbent medium. Charcoal filters fall into this category. 2. Reverse osmosis. These systems use a semi-permeable membrane that removes impurities. And 3. UV light. UV light filtration systems use ultraviolet light to disinfect water by killing potentially harmful bacteria and viruses. Depending on the type and model, prices can range from $20 to hundreds of dollars. No matter what type of filter you choose, be sure to look for brands with certifications from regulatory agencies like the American National Standards Institute, or ANSI, and NSF International. These agencies certify that home water purification systems meet or exceed national drinking water standards. Home water purification systems must be maintained properly. As a result, it's important to follow the manufacturer's recommendations for upkeep, including filter replacement, to ensure your water is being properly purified. Summary. There are many ways to purify your drinking water, including charcoal filters, UV light filtration systems, and reverse osmosis systems. The bottom line. Access to clean drinking water is vital to health. While most sources of public drinking water are closely regulated and safe to drink, many prefer to drink purified water. Purified water is relatively safe and may reduce exposure to certain contaminants that can be found in tap water. Remember that water quality can vary depending on where you live. This should be the determining factor when choosing to drink purified water or tap water. You just listened to part 2 of the post titled, Purified versus Distilled versus Regular Water. What's the Difference? By Jillian Kubala with Healthline.com. When I was reading you the part where we were describing the distillation process, I still remember sitting in an organic chemistry lab and we had to use distillation to create caffeine. Oh, those were, I guess, good times? It was good I learned it. So I can't stress enough that if you decide to go with a water filtration system or some sort of water filter, definitely make sure that it's been certified through a regulatory agency. And just like I read to you, ANSI or NSF International are good ones. And usually you'll see it right on the packaging. Or if you don't see it on the packaging, if you do purchase the product or if you have it at home already, look in the instructions. There you'll see a symbol, ANSI or NSF International. And just because you have one of those systems at home doesn't mean you're set for life. Do be sure to replace those filters regularly. The one other thing I'm going to mention that wasn't addressed is how much water should you be consuming? How do you know whether you're dehydrated or not? The best way to know is to look at your urine color. I know it sounds gross, but if most of the time your urine is like a pale lemonade color, you are adequately hydrated. Whatever you're doing, keep doing it. If it's a darker yellow color, then you're dehydrated. If it's clear, and if it's clear a lot of the time, you're actually probably getting too much water. And that means what may happen is you're going to excrete vitamins and minerals that your body actually needs. So you don't want to be overhydrated all the time either. All right, on that very disgusting note, really quickly, if you want to help keep our podcasts alive, we have many different ways you can help, both financial and otherwise. Come check out oldpodcast.com/support to see how. Anything listed there would be a huge help. All right, that wraps up today's episode. Thank you, as always, for listening. Thank you for being a subscriber. Thank you for sharing the show with someone. I hope you have a great rest of your Thursday, and I'll be back here tomorrow for another Q&A episode and where your optimal life awaits.
Hello, Life Optimizer. This is Justin Malik, creator and producer of this show and Optimal Living Daily, the brother podcast of this one. Literally, I'm Dr. Neil's brother. If you like the format of this show, you'll love Optimal Living Daily too, where I also read to you from blogs, but cover other topics like personal development, finance, and minimalism from bloggers like Derek Sivers, The Minimalists, Zen Habits, and many more. So for more amazing content read to you for free, come subscribe to Optimal Living Daily too, and together we'll optimize your life.
You've been listening to Optimal Health Daily. Be sure to hit the subscribe button to stay up to date on each new episode, and head to oldpodcast.com. That's oldpodcast.com for a free gift, as well as more actionable tips and resources to help you maximize your potential. Thanks for joining us, and remember, your optimal life awaits.